Our mission is to improve the world through Purdue technologies and graduates to help society live happier, healthier, and longer lives. Purdue is an incredible university with innovative and forward-thinking researchers that focus on solving real-world problems.
And Purdue-affiliated startups are not only solving real-world problems, they are stimulating some record-breaking numbers, creating hundreds of jobs along the way. Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. It has been a very big year for Purdue startups. The university's unique commercialization and startup model about to hit a big milestone, and the numbers tell the story. Some 300 Purdue-affiliated startups in fiscal 2020, 10 of which have been acquired by national or international companies for more than $2.3 billion. $400 million in venture and grant funding to Indiana, 400 new jobs. It is among the top 3 universities in the country for startups. And the success is catching the eye of Forbes magazine, naming Purdue one of only 5 non-coastal schools leading in startup creation and venture funding. Purdue saw record-breaking numbers in licenses, invention disclosures, patent applications, and issued patents. And to learn what's behind these big numbers, we're pleased to be joined by Purdue Research Foundation Vice President of Technology Commercialization, Brooke Beyer, and Purdue Foundry VP and Chief Entrepreneurial Officer, Wade Lang. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Very great. Great to be here.
Brooke, I'm going to start with you because these numbers are hot off the presses, your fiscal 2020 results. Talk about them in terms of the numbers. I know a big milestone in terms of the number of startups as well.
Absolutely. So I'm really proud of the Purdue ecosystem this year. We've set records in a number of categories. So invention disclosures that are coming out of all the great research that is going on at Purdue. We had 408 new distinct invention disclosures reported to our office. And of those, we had 148 new license agreements that contained over 225 technologies. So these researchers at Purdue have not slowed down during this pandemic time. And they're producing research that's not only got commercial applications, but they're also being issued patents by the USPTO. We had over 252 issued patents. 180 of those were in the U.S. and 721 patent applications were filed this year alone, which contained from 22 IP-based startups. So we're really excited and proud of the Boilermakers this year.
Yeah, some big numbers being recognized too. Purdue, I think, number 12 on an international list of patents granted. Wade, as you look at the numbers and the success and the startup activity at Purdue, what in your view is really fueling that?
Well, Gary, it really starts with fundamentally a university that's great at doing research, that's great at inventing new technologies that solve the world's problems and improve the world. So that's really where it starts. And the flow of our process is those discoveries yield patents that Brooke's team comes up with, and then the Foundry team works with inventors to start companies. So we started 22 companies this past year based on Purdue intellectual property, 161 companies since 2013. So it's been a very productive few years, an incredible team that just achieving phenomenal results. Our mission is to enable Purdue startups to improve the world. I think it really says it all. We're here to transform discoveries into improvements in the world.
Yeah, and would give us an example, because we're talking about startups that turn into real companies with investment and jobs and those types of things. Give us an example, because sometimes these companies can really hit it big.
Sure. So probably the preeminent example would be Endosight. This is a company that was formed way back in 1996, I believe it was. So it's a long time ago, which really a couple of the key points in this deep technology field in which we operate. These companies take a long time to come to fruition, and they take a whole lot of money. So Endosight went public, raised a couple $100 million of private capital, went public, and then was sold to Novartis for over $2 billion a year ago.
Brooke, talk about it in terms of commercialization efforts. COVID-19 obviously dominating the headlines worldwide, and has also affected the flow in terms of some of the inventions and ideas that you're being presented with there at Purdue, right?
Absolutely. Great question. And that was a question mark at the beginning of all this, is how was it going to impact research and the commercialization efforts that we had been working on. And what I can say is a lot of faculty and students actually pivoted their research programs to tackle this problem. And they've disclosed new inventions related to diagnostics, being able to detect the COVID-19 virus in saliva, working on therapeutics, personal protective equipment, sterilization and disinfecting techniques. So it's really been neat to see these faculty and students come together to solve these problems, and it really hasn't slowed us down at all.
Yeah. Wade, as you look at the impact on the state of Indiana and the economy and what it means to have a vibrant ecosystem in the academic sector, because, you know, it's been the past couple of decades it's changed. It didn't used to be that way here in Indiana at all, but it's been a real sea change. And in many ways, you see it happening there at Purdue, taking innovation and commercializing and really creating impact.
Well, it has dramatically changed things. And when you think about the kind of companies that we're starting, the types of technologies upon which they are based, we employ a lot of engineers, a lot of scientists, a number of people with very deep technical training, and these are high compensation jobs as well.
All right. Brooke Beyer, VP of the Office of Technology Commercialization at the Purdue Research Foundation. Wade Lang, Chief Entrepreneurial Officer at the Purdue Foundry. Thank you both. Congratulations on those numbers. I know we'll be talking about a lot of things going on up there going forward. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Gary. Great to be here.
All right.